Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome back to the Thai Expat Daily Show. I'm your host, Kieran Mack, as always, and delighted you've been able to tune in with us on this beautiful Monday morning from Phuket. Now, before we do get started, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. If you like listening to us on a podcast player, there's a link down below in the description where a vast array of podcast players hosting this show can be found. And finally, if you like the show, if you want to support us here on the show, easiest and the best way is to become a channel member. Again, details down below in the description. But now that's all done and dusted, let's jump into the top trending stories coming out of Thailand today. So we've got some news coming out of Bangkok that's sure to ruffle, well, a few feathers, or in this case, pet fur. The Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, or BMA, is rolling out a brand new policy aimed at controlling the number of cats and dogs you can have at home. And yeah, it's sparking a lot of conversation about public health, safety, and whether this is going a bit too far. So here's what you need to know. The Bangkok Council just approved an amendment that's set to change the way pet ownership works in the city. It's all about balancing public health, preventing disease, and trying to keep nuisances to a minimum. Now, it's up to Governor Chachart Sitipund to give it the final stamp of approval and publish it in the Royal Gazette. Now, if that happens, the policy will go into effect 360 days from that date. But here is the breakdown. So if you have a living space between 20 and 80 meters squared, you'll be allowed to have up to 2 pets, and that's a cat or a dog. If you got a space between 80 meters squared and 200 meters squared, well, that jumps up to 3 pets. A bit more room, like 200 to 400 meters squared, you've got enough space for 4 pets. And if you're living the luxury life with over 400 meters squared, you can have up to 6 pets. But wait, there's still more. Special restrictions are in place for certain breeds known for being, well, let's say a little more intense. We're talking about pit bulls, bull terriers, Staffordshire Bull Terriers, and Rottweilers. If you're thinking of having one of those furry friends, you're going to need special permission. No easy free pass there. The BMA's making this move as part of their broader plan to ensure peace between pet lovers and everyone else. But this is the kind of policy that raises questions. Is this about keeping things orderly or stepping into over-regulation territory? How will this impact pet owners who already have more pets than allowed? And what about those who rescue strays? So where do you land on this? Is Bangkok taking a smart step towards public health and safety? Or is this overstepping into personal space? Hit me up with your thoughts, as always, in the comment section. So let's dive into another crazy story coming out of Phuket that got people talking. Now, you might have even seen this one going viral. It's about that motorcycle taxi driver who forced tourists out of a Bolt taxi and confronted the driver. Well, Phuket police weren't about to let this one slide, and now the man responsible has been arrested. So here's how the whole thing unfolded. It all went down on October 31st around 5:30 p.m. in Patong Katu district. A 32-year-old female driver, Ms. Tanaporn, picked up some foreign tourists through the Bolt app, aiming to take them to the airport from Loma parking lot. Before she could even get going, a motorcycle taxi rider pops up, opens her car door, and gets confrontational, claiming she was picking up passengers in his turf. Ms. Tanaporn tried to explain that the tourists booked the ride themselves through the app, but this guy wasn't having any of it. He orders the tourists out, and with fear in the air, they complied. Fast forward to November 2nd, Patong police got to work and traced the man down using his vehicle registration. Found him wobbling around on his motorcycle near Tuing Wang Road, looking as if he'd had a bit too much to drink. Well, spoiler alert, he had. When police searched under his motorcycle seat near Lempech Monastery, they found a half-empty bottle of Thai whiskey. Really classy, right? Now, it turns out the man in question is a 53-year-old named Mr. Champen. A breath test confirmed what everyone had suspected. He was drunk, way over the legal limit. And yes, this was the same guy who scared off Miss Tanaporn and the tourists. So here's where it really piles up. Mr. Champen has been hit with a laundry list of charges. Drunk driving, using a vehicle for something it wasn't registered for, no helmet, no vehicle registration. missing a public transport driver's license and failing to pay his annual vehicle tax. But it doesn't stop there. At 1 p.m. the same day, Miss Tannaporn gave her statement to police to press additional charges for intimidation. If convicted, that could mean up to 1 month in jail or a fine of up to 10,000 baht or both. So, with incidents like this happening more often, it begs the question: are we looking at a deeper systemic issue between traditional taxi drivers and ride-hailing apps in places like Phuket? Or is it just the same old turf wars escalating to new extremes? What needs to change to prevent these confrontations from putting drivers and tourists in uncomfortable, even dangerous situations? I'd love to know what you think about this down below in the comment section. Now, let's buckle up because this story is coming out of Pattaya is pretty intense and pretty wild. We've got a German national who's now facing a long list of serious charges after ploughing through an alcohol checkpoint and leaving a police officer critically injured early Saturday morning. And if you thought this was where the story ends, well, just wait, it only gets crazier from here. So let's set the scene. It's 2:20 a.m. on November 2nd, and we're on 2nd Jomtien Road in Nong Pru. A foreign man on a Honda CB650 motorcycle, yes, one of those very powerful bikes, decides to crash through an alcohol checkpoint. In doing so, he hits Police Lieutenant Pramin, who's serving as a deputy traffic inspector for Pattaya City Police. The officer is thrown to the ground and suffers severe head injuries while the motorcycle topples over. Now, you'd think the rider would be done at this point, right? Well, nope. The suspect, who's clearly not in the mood to stick around, flees into the nearby bushes while rescue workers rush to provide aid to the injured officer and get him to the hospital. Here's where it gets next level. With over 50 officers mobilized, yes, 50, they surrounded the area, sending out motorcycle patrols and plainclothes officers to cover any potential escape routes. And where does the suspect show up next? Well, walking into DC at Jomtien Beach. Yes, apparently trying to play the game, if I can't see you, you can't see me game. Spoiler alert here too, it didn't work. The police who had been tracking him since the checkpoint crash spot him and arrest him as he's making his way out of the water. Now, at the Dong Tan Curve police substation, the man, who we now know is Mr. Christopher, 30 years of age, refuses to give his name or submit to an alcohol test. But guess what? The police aren't playing games either. They take him to the hospital and the results, well, blood alcohol levels way over the legal limit. CCTV footage from the checkpoint nails him as the guy behind the wheel, or in this case, handlebars. Now, let's talk about the charges, because this isn't just a slap on the wrist situation. Mr. Christopher is facing 4 major charges: drunk driving and reckless driving that caused physical and mental harm and damaged property, failing to assist or inform authorities immediately after an accident and fleeing the scene, violating traffic officer orders under the Land Traffic Act, and resisting arrest and obstructing officers. As for the injured officer, Lieutenant Pramin is being closely monitored in the hospital due to minor brain bleeding and a fracture in the nasal cavity. Doctors say they'll keep an eye on him for 3 to 4 days, and if his condition doesn't stabilize, he'll be moved to Chonburi Hospital for further care. So yeah, this is one of those stories that makes you wonder about the lengths some people will go to avoid responsibility. But what do you think? Is this just another reckless tourist taking things too far, or does it point to deeper issues with law enforcement and road safety in places like Pattaya? Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. And finally, buckle up, because we have a wild and definitely not a good look for the Thai police coming next. 7 suspects, including 6 rogue police officers and 1 civilian, have been arrested for staging a fake passport investigation to extort money from a Chinese citizen. We're talking 10 million USDT here. 2 suspects who worked as interpreters are still on the run. Now, here's how it went down. Now, on October 30, 9 police officers and 3 civilians pulled off a staged investigation targeting Mr. Sai, a Chinese man with Vanuatu citizenship along with Chinese citizenship. They rolled up to his house in Bang Phil district in Samut Prakan with what looked like a legitimate search warrant. Because neither Mr. Sai nor his family could read Thai, they trusted the government seal and let the men in. Well, bad move. The fake cops then confiscated their phones and a computer and threatened them with extra charges for employing an illegal foreign housekeeper. Well, their goal, extortion, plain and simple. They demanded an insane 300 million baht or about 10 million USDT. But when Mr. Sai pushed back, saying he didn't have this kind of money, the negotiations went on. Eventually, Mr. Sai caved and transferred 5.6 million baht in digital currency to one of these suspects' wallets. And it doesn't stop there. Days later, the suspects demanded even more money using Telegram to pressure Mr. Sai's friend for an additional 700,000 baht. Realizing he was being played, Mr. Sai hired a lawyer and filed criminal charges on October 22nd, which kicked off the investigation. Fast forward to October 30th, and 7 of these rogue cops were arrested. The lists include everyone from police lieutenants to senior sergeants, spanning multiple divisions. But here's the kicker. 2 key suspects, the interpreter couple who helped facilitate this scam, are still at large. All arrested suspects are denying the charges and have requested 15 days to submit written statements. They've been released on bail, backed by cash and a land as collateral. This case is now with the National Anti-Corruption Commission, with investigators expected to wrap up their findings within 30 days of the complaint.